Hello everyone, this is the lecture number 2 of the chapter that we have discussed earlier, metals and non-metals. So this is the second lecture of that one. So in this lecture we'll discuss the further topics. So next thing is that the behavior of the metal in the presence of water, means if you have the metal and the water, then what is going to happen. So whenever you put the metal, then metal may form metal oxide, or metal can form the metal hydroxide as well. Okay, so depending upon that. So when you put the metal like sodium in presence of water, it makes your sodium hydroxide. When you have the potassium, then in presence of water it gives you potassium hydroxide and the release of the hydrogen. Now calcium, if you have, then calcium in presence of water, it gives you calcium hydroxide and the release of the hydrogen. So and aluminium in presence of water, it gives you aluminium oxide and then hydrogen is that. And then if you have the iron in presence of water, it gives you ferric oxide and the water. So if you observe, then for these three cases, okay, you have the formation of hydroxide, and for these two you have the formation of oxides. Okay, this is the difference. So this is the hydroxide and this is the oxides. So it all depends upon the reactivity of the metal with the water. Okay, so it is not mandatory, or it is not you can say the thumb rule that the metals will always form oxide or hydroxide. Okay, so depending upon the reactivity of the metal with the water, it may either form oxides, metal oxide, or it may form the metal hydroxides. Okay, now in these cases we have seen that for these three cases we have the hydroxide and this thing. Next thing that I want you people to notice here, okay, next thing that I want you people to notice here is that are you being able to see this thing, the hydrogen, the release of hydrogen gas. Okay, so whenever your metal reacts with the water, okay, whenever your metal reacts with the water, then it forms the hydrogen gas. See here, so whether the metal forms the oxides or metal forms the metal oxides. Okay, in both the cases, okay, metal oxides or oxide, in both the cases you have the release of, okay, you have the release of H2 gas. In both the cases you have the release of hydrogen gas. Now when you compare the reactivity of different metals with water is different now. Now as you see, the reactivity of sodium and potassium, they react violently with cold water to form sodium hydroxide and hydrogen, okay, and it catches fire. Now as compared to sodium and potassium, the calcium, it reacts a bit less violently with the water to form the calcium hydroxide and water, and it doesn't catch fire. Okay, and if you talk about the magnesium, okay, so magnesium normally it reacts with the hot water to form magnesium hydroxide and the hydrogen. Okay, now if you take the metals like aluminium, iron and zinc, it reacts only with the steam to form the metal oxide. Metals like lead, copper, silver and gold do not react with water. So as I told you that the reactivity of the reactivity of different metal is different, okay, depending upon their reactivity. So as you can see that if you see the sodium and potassium, okay, if you see the sodium and potassium, then sodium and potassium, they react very readily, okay, they react violently with the cold water, so they even catch fire in the presence of cold water. Okay, but if you see the calcium, okay, if you see the calcium, then calcium, although calcium reacts with the normal water, but reaction is less violent. Okay, now coming towards the magnesium. So magnesium reacts with the hot water, and when you take the aluminium, like aluminium, iron, okay, then you have the zinc, they react with the steam. Okay, they react with the steam and it forms your metal oxides and hydrogen. Now when you see the metal, the metal like lead, copper, silver and gold, they will do not react with the water. Okay. Now reaction of metal with the acid. Now when you see the reaction of metal with the acid, now if you have the magnesium and you have hydrochloric acid, you will get the magnesium chloride. Okay. Now metal reacts with the acid to form the metallic salts. The you can say the summary, or you can say the most important part is that whenever you have the metal, then metal reacts with the acid to form the metallic salt and the release of the hydrogen gas as well. So you can see that aluminium is whenever aluminium is allowed to react with the HCl, hydrochloric acid, it forms the aluminium chloride and then you have the release of the hydrogen. Now if you have the zinc reacts with the hydrochloric acid to form the zinc chloride and the release of the hydrogen. Now when you see the iron reacts with the HCl to form the perchloride and the hydrogen. So now again, as I told you that the if you see in the from the starting of the chemical properties, I was telling you every metal has different every atom reacts differently with the like oxygen, water, or if you see the acids, and it all depends upon the trends in the reactive trends in the predictable, or you can say more precisely the reactivity of the metal decides that what compound is going to be formed and what will be the rate of the reaction, whether the reaction will be more violent or less violent, and what will be the byproduct of after the reaction. Okay. Now see for the above metals, now if you see the magnesium is more reactive than the aluminium, and more reactive and aluminium is more reactive than zinc, and zinc is more reactive than iron. So you can have, you may be asked a question in your examination that you may be given MCQ, okay, like arrange these metals in accordance with the reactivity with the acids. Okay, the 4 options may be there and one of the options may be this. So in this way the question can be framed in the examination from this topic as well. Now if you see the copper, silver or gold, they do not react with the dilute HCl. Hydrogen gas is not involved, C, whenever metal reacts with the nitric acid. Now the release of, here the point to be noted is that release of hydrogen is only in case of HCl, or you can say the dilute HCl. Okay, but if you have HNO3, okay, in this case no release of hydrogen gas. Okay, there will be no release of the hydrogen gas. So because it is a strong oxidizing agent and it oxidizes H2. Okay, H2 is an intermediate product. You can say that H2 is the intermediate product. So H2 is being oxidized to produce water, and then it itself reduces to the nitrogen. Okay. Now see here, copper, when it is allowed to react with the nitric acid, then it forms copper nitrate. Okay, and then you have the release of the water, and then it forms the oxide as well. Okay. Now the reaction of the metals with salt solution. So a more reactive metal displaces the reactive metal from its salt solution. Now if you have a salt solution of any metal, and if you put another metal in that salt solution, then in that salt solution, depending upon the reactivity, so if you put a more reactive metal in the salt solution, then it will displace the lesser reactive, and then you will get the crystals of the metals of which you have taken the salt. For example, if you have copper sulfate solution, and if you put a magnesium, you can say the rod or the strip in that one, so magnesium will react with the copper. Magnesium will take the sulfate part from the copper. It will form the magnesium sulfate, and you will get the copper deposition on the bottom of the test tube or the pot that you have. Now if you have the zinc and if you have the copper sulfate solution, okay, so this zinc will take the sulfate part, okay, and it will make the zinc sulfate, and then you will get the copper at the bottom. Similarly, if you have copper sulfate and whenever you allow the copper sulfate solution, whenever you allow the iron, or you can say whenever you put the iron in the copper sulfate solution, then it will form the, okay, ferric FeSO4 ferrous sulfate and the copper deposition in the bottom. Okay, so it all depends upon the trend that you have in the you can say the reactivity series. Now then the last part, reactivity series of the metals that you have. Now see here, depending upon the reactivity of the metals, we have decreasing order of reactivity. So potassium is the most reactive and the least reactive is the gold. So you can have a question that like in the MCQ you can be asked that four names of the metal will be given to you, and then you have to choose the most reactive metal, and then you can have a question of least reactive metal. Okay, so these are the few questions that can be asked from you. Okay, so I think now this thing is pretty much clear to you. So thank you so much for watching this video. I'll take another topic in the next video.